Hello, planet watchers. Welcome to Taurus with
Hi,
me.
everyone. Welcome to Taurus.
Hey, Mary Jane.
How are you doing, Chris?
Doing okay, thank you. It's a little chilly here, I'm not gonna lie.
We're back in winter here in Switzerland. It's so silly. Yeah. Spring,
Oh,
the frost has killed like 95% of the grapes, about 50% of the apricots. The farmers are going crazy. It's very bad.
oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
No, really not. Yeah, especially the grapes. Good God.
Oh, we need those.
Yeah, really badly.
Oh my gosh. So we are here on April 24th, which is my grandmother's birthday, your mother's birthday.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Yeah, a date to remember.
A date to remember, absolutely, to talk about Taurus, of course. And we're still in Mercury retrograde, which ends, I think, tomorrow. The
Yeah, sometimes in the 26th, I think, officially.
20th.
Yeah, and that's the good news, I guess.
Oh, no. Okay,
Well, I've had some nice surprises this month, the last part of the Aries bit, and here in Taurus already. I've been in touch with a friend of mine from Kansas City from my high school days who wants to come to Europe right away. I mean, this is wonderful. I haven't even seen her in 5 years, and so it's been just a really long time. And it's been surprises like this kind of all the time. People showing up from the past and ending some old discussions. That's been going on as well. This is very typical, good, the good side of the Mercury retrograde. So that's fun.
Well, that is true. Old, excuse me, old things coming back up, like this cold I thought I had kicked.
No.
Well, apparently not. No, so yeah, the old things coming up to deal with again, or to finally put to rest, or to renew. Yeah.
Yeah. Just another note about renewing stuff. This is an excellent time with that this Mercury is also in conjunction, very strong conjunction with Venus these days, and Chiron. So this is a wonderful time for you writers, your artists, to be going back, reviewing, editing, rewriting stuff. Composers as well are going to get on with this. It's a wonderful time for this. And this is going on until the 26th of April. So we've still got a few good working days for that. Anyway, don't worry about the retrograde business. The conjunction keeps on for a little while, so until the end of the month.
Mhm.
So this is a great time to be taking care of those nits and nitty gritty stuff.
Bits and bits. Yeah, it's so funny you say about writing and editing, going back and revising. I've been writing a lot of poetry lately, and just I've been on a kick to go back and revise, add a comma here and change a word there. So
It's
yeah,
great. It's great. It's a perfect time to be doing exactly that, in fact. So yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it.
wonderful. Well, and we just came out of eclipse season, for a better term.
Yes, that's other good news, I guess. I wasn't too excited about this eclipse, except for the fact that it was a total one, especially stateside.
Yeah.
And this counts. This counts a lot. But in fact, the attitudes, the aspects between the planets weren't all that exciting. So I would say offhand, it's a kind of a ho-hum promissory note for the future. Nothing we can really put our fingers on to give us either pleasure or pain. So that's already good.
Okay. Good. Good. Well, what do we have to look forward to in Taurus that we're
Well,
already in?
yeah, yeah, lots of things actually. There are two big themes. Let's talk about those first because I think they're important. The first one is the conjunction that's still in the sky of Jupiter and Uranus, that's already been active from the 17th of March and is continuing into the 25th of May. So this is the whole period of Taurus that these two planets are working very hard together. It's a very interesting, extremely potent um, conjunction, actually, because Jupiter and Uranus are going to create great expectations. This is a time where people are looking for progress. There's a new insight into how to make things move ahead. All our projects, and especially some that are touching on the world history scene, are going to be in a progressive mode. I think this is going to be useful. The new thinking, the visualization during this period is one of new possibilities, with a strong accent on ethics and on philosophy. So there's room for political change, also legal changes going on. This should be a period of construction too of uh, social guidelines. And that's going to be playing down on all kinds of levels. And we'll see how we can maybe use this personally in a minute. The second theme, and the two are playing together in a way, is the strong conjunction as well of Saturn, Mars, and Neptune that are all going on in Pisces. Now, this is a little less good because, well, Saturn especially is also in a sort of conflictual attitude with Pluto. So this is telling us that the wars, plural, are continuing. There seems to be no let up. On the Saturn-Mars side with Neptune, there's a notable fatigue that's visible. Everybody's working out of a lack of energy and a serious lack of motivation as well. This is showing up. I don't know if you've been listening to the news, but this is especially important in the Ukraine, where the soldiers have been fighting constantly. I mean, nobody's getting any time off. Nobody's getting any relief for these last 2 years. Everybody's exhausted. They're running out of munitions. Luckily, now I'm saying that this is important um, because the two these two critical points are important because Jupiter and Uranus are going to be helping out. They're sending in new energy. We've seen well, the U.S. Congress that's finally voted funds for munitions, funds for especially everyone's got an eye open to reconstruction as well. So this is going to be also true in the fight between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip. So I'm thinking that one and the other, this is a time in any case where at least help is on the way to the underdogs, whichever you can choose the underdog you want in the case of Israel and Hamas. But I'm thinking that especially Israel is playing the Plutonian uh, card and being the heavy the
Mhm.
heavy combatant in this battle. So we're going to see an eye on anyway. An important lending hand, helping hand to the war efforts on all points, with an eye on reconstruction as well. And again, Jupiter and Uranus are talking about the triumph of social justice. I think with this, we're going to see a lot of movements again in the UN, in the international courts, in various other governments that are finally going to say that we've had enough. It's really time to sit down at some kind of negotiating table and try to iron out some sort of peace movement. The time is ripe now. If the people are ripe, this is another question. But in any case, it's a nice thought, and we'll try to keep an eye on these movements that can put some sort of pressure on the warring factors on both sides, all sides. So we'll have to hope in any case that that's the case. Um, there are some particularly bad dates as far as uh, well, collateral losses and so on that I'm looking at. Well, already there were some major confrontations on the 19th of April, the 23rd as well. Now we're going to, in the future, look at the 28th and the 30th of April, the 3rd of May, the 7th of May, the 10th of May, the 15th and 17th of May, and the 20th of May. The moon is creating particularly difficult strategic times for all the war efforts everywhere. So we're going to see some heavy casualties. We're going to see some very important losses on all fronts. I'm afraid of these dates very seriously. So in any case, well, that's what we have to deal with at present. But I'm still very, very hopeful about this, especially the Jupiter Uranus conjunction, because it is a forward-moving kind of thought and a change in thinking on the warring factors as well as on the peacekeeping factors.
Okay, yeah. This has been going on such a long time, and I think we're all just weary of it, just worn out from it.
Totally, totally, and not even talking about the warring factors themselves, where everyone is, especially on the Ukrainian front, they're desperate, and that's really the idea of the Saturn-Mars conjunctions, especially with Neptune on top. It's desperation. Where do we put our energy? How can we discover any new motivation when we're out of funds, we're out of bullets, we're out of fat, we're out of soldiers, we're out of everything, and especially out of patience. So it's really a tough month with that in mind. We'll just have to keep our fingers crossed and see if, especially this idea of condemnation coming from outside, from the UN, new forces of for peacekeeping that should be speaking up and making themselves heard these days. And I
Yeah,
think individual governments too are going to be putting pressure where it needs to be put, and this is going to help a lot.
yeah, yeah. I think we all need good news on that front. It sounds like things are going to continue to be a little rough and rocky
Oh yeah,
for, well, forefront.
quite a long time. But again, I come back to this notion of some kind of growth process that's going on, some kind of good sense that's being pushed. And again, we come back to this notion of great expectations. Jupiter has a tendency to sort of blow out our possibilities. He wants to see things on a major scale and like immediately. And this is not going to happen. This is all happening in the fixed sign of Taurus, especially, and things just don't move that fast in Taurus. But the idea is there, the seeds are planted. The good common sense is telling us that this war cannot go on forever. And so I think with this in mind, we'll be seeing some progress in any case.
Well, I think with the attack of Iran on Israel, that had a lot of us really, really nervous.
Oh, well, it is. It's extremely nerve-wracking. And we come back to this again, the play of Pluto, our old friend Pluto, who's still trying to manifest in some new ways, especially in this very awkward aspect to Saturn again that's been going on all this time. So yes, we're still seeing the old rivalries, the old hatreds that are just being renewed or being stoked again and coming to the surface where we really don't have room for anymore.
No, well, so I mean, my question is that this whole Hamas Israel thing came as such a surprise. The Iran attack, I don't know, to me and a couple of other people I know, seemed like such a surprise. Is there an atmosphere of we can be expecting more surprises, surprise
Oh, I
attack?
think so. I think so, especially in this month, and until we exhaust the square of Saturn to Pluto. Now that's going to wear out as Saturn moves on a little bit ahead, but it's not moving very fast. And so through the spring, certainly, we won't see much progress or slowing down of that kind of energy here. It's interesting, that particular attack of Iran, because it was sort of a bullying move. Nobody wants to go to war between Israel and Iran. Nobody.
Oh,
And so it's as though, Iran is sort of rattling sabers and saying, come and get us if you can. But in fact, nobody wants to go there. So I think it was a show of force. Iran is very active with the Hamas and those movements. And so I think they were just taking advantage of Israel's confusion at present and making themselves known again.
yeah. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Well, what else do we have to look forward to in or hide from?
Or hide from. No, the rest is actually on a more personal level. The news is actually pretty good, except possibly um, for Tauruses and maybe Scorpios as well. With the same sun as it's clicking along here in Taurus is going to be making a square to this same Pluto that's hiding out now in Aquarius. The square is going to be active from the 19th of April through the 2nd of May. So we've got these 2 weeks in front of us that still represent a certain personal danger. I want all you Taurians out there to, first of all, do your health checkups. Second of all, avoid dangerous, blatantly dangerous physical situations. This is not a time to be going out mountain climbing. This is not a time to be getting your foot caught in a tractor. This is not a time to be taking just unnecessary risks with your little pink and brown bodies. So, so just be careful out there. And the same is true not only for Taurians, but also for Scorpios in the mirror effect.
What is that, the mirror effect?
Well, because Scorpio is the opposite sign from Taurus, it's from Taurus, and so it has a certain mirror effect. As soon as we see Taurian suns in danger, why so are in fact uh, Scorpio suns in danger, and
Okay.
for essentially the same reason. They're both receiving the square from Pluto, so the same. Now, the Scorpios are typically going to be handling Plutonian factors more easily. But still, I like to say, be careful where you're putting your feet. There are
All
some difficult days there. One of them is was yesterday, the 23rd, and the next one that looks kind of dangerous is the 30th of this month. So be careful in your sports, be careful in your mobility and your moving around. Be careful, just be careful.
always a good a good idea to be.
It's not a bad idea for any of us. But again, with the movements of our personal suns, as this includes my Taurian friends, why this puts a certain accent on on this energy field, on these birthdays, which is why I'm talking about this now. Now,
Mhm.
there's some other very nice things that are going on for in Taurus. The let's see, the first one is again the movement of Venus and Mercury, as I talked about before. This is wonderful energy to be doing your writing, to be doing your reviewing, to see old friends, catch up on old times, and this connection is going on clear through the 26th. The other movement I like very much, the fact that all of this is happening in Taurus. Venus is there. Venus is very much at home in Taurus. This is her bailiwick. This has everything to do with glamour, with money, with getting and spending and keeping and collecting. This is what Venus loves to do in Taurus. And here the sun is accompanying her. This is absolutely glorious. This is going on from the 1st until the 28th of May, this whole period. So especially for Taurians, this is a period of personal attraction, high visibility. You're totally irresistible. Um, especially on the Taurus and the Scorpio axis. Virgos are taking a little bit of advantage as well. Now, all of this comes across, or people on the outside are seeing this, especially for Tauruses, as just an unbelievable self-assurance, bordering on pride, bordering on showiness, which is fine, except that not everybody is going to be reading your message in the same way. You're going to put off a lot of people being so totally in their face. But that's okay. Use it where you can, right? Now, there's a period in here from the 1st to the 7th of May where Venus is square to this famous Pluto, particularly strongly. And Venus, when she's in this position in Taurus and in contact with Pluto, becomes jealous. She becomes spiteful. She becomes eager to pick a fight, extremely jealous. You know, everybody out there is probably against her. And on the money end, handling money, it's a period of high risk. Now, the rest of the month is looking very, very good, in fact, especially from, oh, let me just say one thing about this connection with the sun. Both the sun and Venus are going to be changing signs. The sun goes into Gemini on the 20th of May, and Venus will follow closely on the 23rd of May. So this conjunction is still working very strongly, but it's what we call a conflictual conjunction. It's like two people who are trying to talk to each other through a thick glass. You see,
Uh-huh.
it just creates a lot of difficulty. Now, in this particular case, the question arises in who wants what and from whom. So while the sun in Gemini wants to go to the movies, why this conjunct Venus wants to stay home in her sweat clothes and watch
Or does
the
she
Game
wrote?
of Thrones for
Yeah.
5 hours. And so there's going to be a lot of tension in these 3 days, especially in well, Taurian partners who are waiting around for something else to happen, and the sun in Gemini that's already off and running in another direction.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's actually a very nice conjunction, and is receiving a lot of input as Venus comes over our friends Jupiter and Uranus that are now already in Taurus and just sitting there waiting to get on with all these great expectations. Venus comes around and will be exactly with Jupiter on the first of June, in fact. But we'll be on this conjunction from the 10th to the 23rd of May. Now, this is a wonderful time for money investments, money movements of all sorts, buying and selling. This is really a great time to be doing business. And the only risky period is already done when this Venus is in contact with Pluto and represents a certain tendency for high risk. But for the rest, it's really a great time to be, again, buying and selling, moving money around the way you want.
Good. Good.
Interesting too for signing contracts on a more personal level, signing contracts, making deals, personal arrangements, including marriages, are great partnerships, marriages through this period can be very, very good.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So you see, there's some good stuff going on.
There's some good stuff going on. So a mixed bag for Taurus, which is, to be
Rather
expected,
normal.
right? It's rather normal. But it's just good to see what's coming up, get the temperature, get the,
Oh,
check
definitely
the check the weather.
That's
Hot
what we want to
weather.
do.
That's what we're doing, right? We check the
Right.
weather to see if we, how we should dress, and here we check our astrology for the month to see what days are best to do certain
Are
things.
going to be, yeah, being useful to do the things we want to do, and also useful to avoid the days that aren't working for us. This is equally good, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
that's
why we're here.
why we're here. That's why we do this every month. And our next installment is going to be Gemini.
Indeed, indeed.
Good. Well, I'll see you in Gemini then.
Been fun. See you then.
Okay.